Hello, everyone. Mike Mosquito with the Buzz Podcast here, along with my wonderful co host, Maureen.
Nylin.
Back at you for a week ending Buzz episode. Hopefully, you've had a wonderful week wherever you were. I've been on the road this week, so I'm coming back home. Maureen was holding down the fort while I was out speaking and presenting at the Millennium Alliance event in Austin, Texas. Maureen, did you have a good week back at the ranch?
I did. I of course didn't get to accomplish company. That's the word
Okay.
I was
But
looking.
I'm sure you were accomplished.
I know what was the word I was looking. I was going to actually go with something else, and I think I had a mini stroke, and that's what came out.
It's all right.
It's all good. Of course, I did not get to go with you. However, I did. I had a great week. We kicked off the book club for Bluebird Leaders, which is an organization that both of us are incredibly passionate about.
Yeah.
And if you haven't had an opportunity to check out Bluebird Leaders, please do so. So I was busy doing that while Mike was in Miami. Weren't you in Miami? That's where it was at?
Austin, Texas this week.
Austin. Well,
Miami's later in the summer. Yes.
I
So I
can't
spent
keep
time
track
in
of
Texas.
the schedule.
I was on a plane somewhere.
You
So
were.
yes, I spent
You
time
were.
at the Millennium Alliance assembly this week. It was nice to be able to get down to Austin and see a lot of new faces, some existing friends and colleagues that I was able to catch up with. But just to be able to get down there and see Millennium Alliance perform at a conference where they brought delegates in from the payer and provider mix. So there was a lot of balance between those two in the
Yeah.
room, on top of the partners that had come in to showcase their technologies. But it was a very
Right.
nice mix of payer and provider. First time I'd seen that large a number in the room. And a lot of the
Mhm.
payers have been on travel, as you can say, travel
Yeah.
restriction over the past 6 months, 4 months. And so now it's about how do they get in and understand and engage in this new world of learning about technology. What are the providers looking for in technology that will affect the payer and provider relationships? So it was a lot of content that
Yeah.
fed both of those interests. And I think it was as a week of collaboration between those two of how would you use, evaluate, and understand technology in each of their domains.
Yeah. Well, this is one that I know you go to every year. It's a conference that you have a lot of value within and that you want to give back to. And I wasn't familiar actually with Millennium Alliance before you went. So help me and the other listeners understand, how is Millennium Alliance different than some of the other conferences that you have an opportunity to go to?
Well, the benefit to Millennium Alliance is that they have multi-industry assemblies, as they call them. So it's not just healthcare; they cover the gamut of other industries, manufacturing, industrial, but they bring them all together. So they're very adept at whatever industry. They know how to tailor a program just for you. They've been doing workshops in their assemblies as long as they've been a conference,
Yeah.
and so their workshops are tactical, engaging. I actually delivered a workshop while I was an attendee and a delegate. I also was a presenter. So I actually delivered a workshop on AI success where I took the attendees and delegates through a road mapping session of looking and finding and delivering success for looking at AI, bringing it in house, asking the
Yeah.
right questions, and how do you get to POC and deliver that success without targeting soft ROI. So they
Mm.
actually took something home from the conference yesterday during my workshop. So I've been doing these workshops for some time now. I enjoy doing the workshops.
I know you do. And you do such
Yeah,
a great job at them. You
thank
take
you.
very difficult, large, meaty concepts and you break them down into tangible pieces of information that even I can understand, because I like to live in the clinical space. That's where my brain naturally gravitates to. Not an engineer, don't claim to be. In fact, we had a conversation that I have something that's coming this week that I don't know how I'm going to assemble it.
You do.
Counting on my husband to step in and help me with that. So I appreciate that you have that side of the brain that I don't have.
Well, that's all right. That's why I need you because I'm never cutting anyone open or bandaging anybody up. So
Well, I better not cut anybody open either. I'm not qualified for that, but I'll put the band aid on just in
I know
case.
some nurses that have probably cut some folks. So with these conferences coming online in the beginning of this year, they're trying to find value of why do you come to my conference, or Why would
Yeah.
you want to sponsor my conference? Why would you bring your products here? I think the mix of partners and vendors that participated was varied. I met some with some of them. I usually do the speed dating with them. This time I played several roles. I was there for media, I was there as a delegate and as a presenter. So I had enough on my plate without being in the speed dating room for two
Yeah.
days. But there was
Yeah.
a lot of engagement. You and I have been to these conferences where we see, so many folks on the floor that you want to meet, that you don't get to all of them. They make sure you meet with everyone during their networking and during their conference time. So
Mm,
you have plenty of time to meet off floor. If you need to go and have a one-on-one private session, you can. So it's
that's
very
fantastic.
collaborative, it's very engaging, but they
I
do
like
a good job of multi-industry, multi-city. They travel all around. Like they'll be in Dallas again next week. I think they do a lot in many states. I'll be with them one more time this year at a Miami event. So I
okay.
actually at a Dallas event. So I'll spend two times this year, possibly with them in Dallas. And then they're having a conference here in Georgia and a dinner that's a small group dinner in
Okay.
Georgia. So they
Wow.
have these business transformation meetings that are incredible.
Hmm. Oh, more to come on that then. Okay, so you wanna do a pulled from the headlines a little bit? You
Pulled
wanna have
from
some
the
fun with
headlines. I
me?
know you and your Dateline. I know you love the pulled from the headlines.
I put my glasses on, so this is where we're gonna get serious now.
Oh my goodness. Hey folks, y'all get ready. She's driving today.
Well, no, and this is truly, truly serious. So there were a couple of different reports that this came out on. Got the alert from Chime. Becker's had put it out. It's not confirmed, but the American Hospital Association and Health ISAC, they are alerting hospitals. There were social media posts that had gone out for a coordinated multi-city terrorist attack. And again, this is unconfirmed, but the reason that I'm bringing this up and I want to make sure that we have a conversation with it about it, Mike, is because at the end of the day, we talk a lot about cyber, and that obviously keeps us up at night. And it's something that we need to prepare for. We talk with those that are industry experts and having a resiliency strategy, and we definitely need to do that. But this is different,
This is much different because most attackers don't come out and tell you, hey, I'm going to attack you in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
right?
So this is something that they've received this information. The FBI is involved with it. So they're trying to plan and provide for these updates that would derail this type of attack or threat. But the best offense is a good defense. So do you have a resiliency plan in place for whatever attack that might come if your lights
And
get shut out?
And
Yes.
it may not be through your technology.
Right.
Again, this isn't that type of attack that they're potentially threatening. This could be
Right.
an attack on the actual facility
Right.
against the healthcare workers, against the patients. And so
Right.
that's a whole other resiliency strategy that I don't know. Have we considered that as healthcare organizations? I know that as a mom, I would always tell all of my children, you need to be aware of your surroundings at all times. And that certainly is true, irregardless of what has been put out on social media.
Uh,
However, yeah,
I think that having this notice go out with Chime and Becker's and the other channels that are alerted to this, if you've got ISAC involved and you've got the FBI involved and you've got all these other mediums of information alerting, I want to make sure that we don't over, you know, inform. It's not over inform. We don't throw caution to the wind, one, because they've already said that this could happen. So shame on
mhm.
us if we don't alert or prepare ourselves. But is it I don't want to warn folks and then nothing happens. Then we keep warning and nothing happens. And then
Oh,
we
yeah,
warn and then nothing
yeah.
happens, right?
It's
We're
like the
crying wolf.
tornado sirens.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah,
We're testing every day. And then when the tornado's here, everyone's
right,
like, no, that's just a warning. Don't worry
right.
about it. And everyone's blown away.
Yeah.
So it is really how do we pay attention to these bulletins and
Mhm.
ensure that a joint bulletin coming from multiple organizations, we plan accordingly. What's your resiliency plan? You and I have a podcast channel dedicated to cyber. we've had on several speakers and guests that
Mhm.
talk about resiliency and planning, and they live in it. They live through these attacks.
Yeah.
You're in a hospital. You know how treacherous it could be when the lights go off.
Right. Right. And what if your communication systems go down?
Exactly.
It's more than just the technology. At the end of the day, we're in the business of taking care of people. So how are we managing that when some of our external factors no longer look the same? Maybe there's been damage to one of our facilities. And again, this could happen not even because of a terrorist attack. I'm just thinking of the natural disasters that we've all faced. And certainly it's the spring season. And as I referenced before, tornadoes. It's just one of those moments where I hope everybody gives pause and thinks through. Cyber is a very huge and important component of a resiliency plan, but take that one step further and make sure that you understand what are you going to do to take care of your facility, your people, and your patients.
And I think taking care of your patients is key. Another one of those headlines for the day is Common Spirits addressing the return to reason for payer negotiations. And they address the question of denials. It keeps growing
Yeah.
at an alarming rate. It's still going up. Um, and they're trying to address the issue. So you've got someone trying to address the issue of these denials growing as more of these companies, these payers put in AI to mitigate their risk of paying.
Mm,
They've got to find a way to create balance there because, again, we know what happened last year, late last year, dealing with this topic, and these
mhm.
strategies um, of trying to reduce them means that someone else is going to be at a loss on the other side, right?
Yeah,
If you're
yeah.
accepting to pay, if you're paying for these claims, you're not making as much money. So
Mm.
I've always said, and I put it out there once. I said, why are the payers publicly traded companies? Why should they be able to profiteer really off the
It's
backs
a good
of
question.
not paying for sick patients when you pay your premiums?
Oh,
I'd love to hear from our audience out there.
I would too. I would too. I have a lot of thoughts on those, and I'm obviously not the expert, so I'll keep some of those things to myself, but I'd love to have some experts on to talk about this because it's a real problem. It's something that I've personally experienced. I think we've all gone through that. And when you layer in AI, it is interesting now. Is that going to benefit or is that going to make things more complex? And the transparency of that algorithm, who's evaluating that?
Well, I will tell you, if their profits start to slip, they'll be evaluating the algorithm very quickly. You already know the answer to that one.
Yeah,
they've hired somebody for that job, and so it's
everybody gets what they deserved. Wow. I think that would be the headlines. Everybody's surgery was approved the first time. Oh, they can't have that medication. It'd be a weird world, wouldn't it?
it would be a very weird world for the hackers out there. Do not take this under advisement from the Buzz podcast. And
No,
so again,
definitely
it
not.
is it is how do you evaluate these hot buttons that are in the news like this, whether it's an attack or whether it's understanding how do we get better patient care, better patient engagement, and how do we take care of those that need health care in the
Mhm,
moment.
mhm.
So, how do we address these topics? We talk about them on the buzz openly. We bring on our guests to be candid and truthful and open with you, our listeners. And
Yeah,
we hope you keep listening to us each week in each episode and each conference we attend. We do this for you. We hope that our audience participates with us, and we hope that our conferences enjoy our time with them. So thank you again, Maureen, for a wonderful Friday weekend buzz. But I hope that you have a wonderful weekend,
yeah, you too.
and I hope to see you soon. I know we
Oh,
will.
yeah. We'll be together at another conference here within a few weeks. I think you will have put a few under your belt by the time I see you again.
I will. So, in case you're going to be in Nashville the week of the 23rd, 24th, 25th, Maureen and I will be in Nashville. Hit us up. Maybe we'll see you out on the streets. And until then, keep buzzing. Thank you for joining us for another week ending Buzz Recap.